Hey guys, come crumb coat this cake with me.
All right, I'm gonna go take you through my crumb coat stack tier process. And first things first is that I buy these plastic tiered cake separators. And I use these instead of cardboard because I feel like it has way more stability. And if you're traveling with your cake, I feel like it's gonna be a lot better for you in the long run. And it comes with all the dowels, and these are, plastic, and they're more heavy duty than the boba straws. Obviously, wood would be great too. And so far I have done my cake board and then my dowel in the middle. This is 3/8 of an inch, and I have a video on that as well. So you can go take a look at how I prepare this. So let's stack the cake.
I totally forgot to film how I add the holes in each layer, but basically after I level off every one of my cakes, I stack them according to their size, and then I take the same size dowel as you see in the middle of the cake drum, and then I pierce it through the middle, and I use a ruler to measure everything. That way it's all nice and even, and then I don't have to figure out where the middle of each cake layer is when I'm stacking on top of this huge stick. I also forgot to film the last 2 layers of decorating this tier, but whatever, man.
So we finished stacking the first tier. Now we're gonna add the dowels and the little separator pieces, and we're gonna continue crumb coating on. Another thing I will say is that the sizing that you wanna pick, you don't want the same size as your cake. So for instance, I have a 10-inch cake at the bottom. My middle tier is gonna be 8-inch. So then I want this to be either 7 inches or either 6 inches, because we want it smaller than the cake below it so that we don't see the separator pieces in between the cakes.
What I was trying to say is that the cake board needs to be smaller than the cake on top of it. So this was a 6-inch cake board, and the cake on top was 8 inches. That way you don't see the cake board in between the cake tiers. These boards have pegs underneath that sit on top of the dowels. So I like to indent the cake board onto the bottom layer first so I can see where I'm going to put my dowels, and then I will cut accordingly. And for this, they only had 3 dowels for the 6-inch, and I think it needs more for an 8-inch cake. So I went ahead and added 3 more. So there was a total of 6 dowels. It gives more stability, and it makes me feel less stressed. Then we're going to crumb coat and stack the second tier like we did the first. I had a lot of questions about why I like to do cakes this way, and so I really wanted to do a detailed video, which is why this is a little bit longer than my usual, but I know it's not for everybody. I really like it because I was having a lot of stress and anxiety stacking pre-frosted cakes on top of each other. If I didn't get it directly in the middle, I would have to shift it over, and then I would ruin some of the buttercream because I work with all buttercream cakes. To me, it was just so much more stress than needed. This was just so much more simple for me. I loved the whole process of being able to frost all the tiers at once. I could take a step back if I needed to, and I could see like, oh, this side is a little bit more crooked. I should add more buttercream on this side to even it out. But if it was already pre-frosted, there wasn't much that I could do. I could add more frosting, but it was just a level of anxiety and stress that I didn't like. And working with buttercream and manipulating an already frosted cake is just terrible in my opinion. So now we're working on the final layers of the final tier, and I noticed that my cake dowel was a little too long, so I went ahead and used my pipe cutter to cut it off so it was exactly the size of the cake. All the tools you see here, whether you find them at the hardware store or not, are all related to cakes, and I only use it for that purpose. We're going to put this in the refrigerator overnight, and I like to do it the night before so that all the cake layers settle. Let me know if you try this out.